Yo, it's a CypherTalk. We're back. And we have Brakada in the house. My former coaches. In some ways, still my coach. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
What's up?
I'm really excited to have you guys here. We have Mary Beth standing by.
Hi.
The producer keeping us in check, and Andrew as always, making sure the audio is all good. So thank you for being here. And I just want to start off by saying, like, as far as rapping and music wise, when I was growing up, like, if you guys, a lot of people don't know that like at 12, 13, these guys were coaching me in basketball in Philippine League Way. So shout out to anybody who's in Way, WAAY.
Still doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame. They are the only Hall of Fame set up across Canada is here in the Duckworth Center, and Way's got a picture in there. So
Oh wow, really? I didn't
putting
even
it down
know
for
that.
the community and the kids.
That's awesome.
Shout out to them, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah.
But you guys, when I found out you guys were doing music like way back when, I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Like they're just like, they're kind of like my bigger brothers, and like, oh, if they could do it, then we could do it. Like, you're the first guys that I was like, damn, like, I mean, you could actually do something. Like, if you really want to do that creatively, like, you can do it. So.
Well, I'm glad that you got that transfer of energy from us. I'm glad, because that's really what it's all about.
It's true.
Especially with any type of art form, dancing, rapping, music, anything, visual arts. It's it flows through us, and hopefully someone's inspired by it and to do something of their own.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you don't really know how far your reach is sometimes, and it could be like you won't even you're doing something and you just like enjoy doing it, and then it'll just reach further than you could even imagine. Like, because with you guys might have started something, and then like I might start something, and then somebody might see what I'm doing and be like, oh shoot, like,
exactly.
And then it just keeps going further. That's what kind of gives me goosebumps, and I'm like, damn, like this stuff is like real. Like, you don't even know like the kind of connection that can like take place there. So
yeah. Well, we're all connected in some way, shape, or form, right? We're all breathing the same air. We're all connected. It's just how much of a ripple we make, for like my waves of energy to reach you, and vice versa between us all.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad, like, my brother and I, we haven't even been really doing any music. We bust some freestyles because it's fun. We love it. We enjoy it, right? Mm-hmm. And then here's this kid who I coached when he was 13. I'm not trying to age myself, but when he was 13, I coached him in basketball. Now you're doing your thing and you're dancing, and talk about a full circle. Now you're calling me out to come and do a podcast and shoot the breeze.
Shoot the breeze.
With you,
I want to swear.
Yeah, and when you're involved in the hip hop community, it's awesome, man.
I would just say, like, what inspired you guys to start like doing your art form?
The rap music.
Yeah.
You want to take this? I could take it. You could take it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, when I was growing up, me and my brother are 2 years apart. He would be listening to hip hop with his friends, or my kuyas, and then I noticed they were really into it. Then they started rapping. So that's not to say that's how he started, but for me, I was listening to the hip hop, and I was more so into the beat. This was like around when like Busta and Missy Elliott and Timbaland came out, and they were really focused on some different sounding music. And then I was listening to, what's that track? More Money, More Problems?
Oh, like Puff Daddy and
Mace.
yeah,
Mace, yeah. And then I remember the lines, just like how you remember your favorite songs, and then I wrote my own version of it, right? And I was talking about like being a big guy and how I like to eat, and it was funny. It was funny to me, right? I wasn't serious.
Yeah. That's how it all starts, right?
I wasn't trying to
It's
I'm
fun.
gonna be a successful rapper, and then I finally had the courage to like kick it to my brother and his friends, or JB, and they just laughed. They just cracked up, and then I was like, man, like I made something.
Oh yeah, you had this line. It was like you ordered so much food that the person working the register turned into a crooked eye cripple because you just kept ordering so much.
Yeah,
like that's creative. I'm like, and
yeah.
And he was like, I'm like, that's pretty sick, you know?
But that's exactly what it was. And then I think just to go back to the topic that you were talking about, how like it's that synergy. But I think when someone's expressing themselves in an honest way, everybody can relate to that. You feel like this connection, right? Even with things I don't understand, like if you ever look at abstract art, a lot of it doesn't make sense to me, but then there's like a tone or a color and you can kind of connect with the artist in a way, right? So, yeah, I'm just happy it's still connecting us to this day.
Yeah, just to kind of like add sections to your question, like what got me started. Well, as far as hip hop is concerned, if we're talking about hip hop, I think I was introduced to hip hop through dance. Like watching, Michael Jackson and my older cousins, like in our generation, like the late 70s, early 80s, that was like b-boying. It was like, you're going to bring out your cardboard, you're going to b-boy. That was the introduction of, from my perspective anyways, is what I really believe. That was the introduction of hip hop in Winnipeg, was b-boying. There was a lot of different b-boying crews back then really doing their thing. And I was like, oh man, I could move my body, and I was just a kid, right? Moving my body and trying to do that, and I realized, I think I'm a little too big for this. I don't know about the windmills. I could do the worm and try and pop and all that. But once I heard rapping, there was just something about words rhyming, flow, the poetry, and then the different layers of depth when a person is talking to you or telling you something. You're like, when someone tells you something and you're like, oh, is he really saying that, or does he mean something else when he says that? There's always different contexts, and it's a way of communication. And I think that's what really stuck with me. And all you need, and this is a parallel to basketball too, is all you need is your thoughts and your device or your pad and pen, and then you can go to town. You can write. You could rap. You could begin your story. And just like basketball, that's why we chose basketball as a sport. Well, it was introduced to us through our older cousins, but really, I don't need to go and call 8 or 9 guys. Everyone bring your gloves and let's play baseball. I don't need to call 3 more buddies, say, let's go play soccer. I don't need to spend a whole bunch of money and play hockey. Like, we didn't have too much money growing up, right? But if I get a ball on the court, sometimes you might not even have a ball. You could start practicing. You could start playing, and that's the parallels of basketball and hip hop or rapping for me, anyways. And then if you look at movement now, if you guys watch the game of basketball now, a lot of showboat movements that would be shunned upon back in the day, like the crossovers, the moving, the juking, the flops. The flops. There's a lot of dance in that. Like it all works together.
I find there's a lot of connections everywhere if you look for it. Can you guys talk a little bit about that's gonna be a few years now?
No problem.
Maybe like on the 2010s, early 2010s, maybe 2009 to like when you guys started coming out with like you guys hosted Driven and that kind of time, yeah.
Okay, during that era, man, what was that? What
you guys had like 4 brothers, like.
Doing the whole. Okay, so like.
I can't remember.
We did a lot of drinking.
That year never happened.
We got a lot of drinking. There's this line from Raekwon. You guys know Raekwon, obviously, from Wu-Tang. He goes, "I got with a sick ass clique and went all out." Right. So that's what we did. We formed our team. We're like, okay. There's a little documentary that was on us. I don't know if you guys watched it. Yeah,
Randall Mauricio.
Yeah,
did,
shout outs
yeah.
to Randall, man. Yeah,
We're
big
gonna
time.
find this documentary. Or where can people find this documentary?
Yeah. Oh, where can they find it? Spotlighting Brakada. I think you can see it on YouTube.
Yeah, if you look up Brakada.
Yeah, look up Brakada.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, I have a hard time looking up Brakada because I'm like, oh man, we gotta go to the next chapter now. We gotta keep moving on. That's just how I am. You know, like last night, man, my freestyles were lit. And then you listen to it because some recorded it's like, oh, I don't want to hear it.
It's always
Yeah.
hard in the moment.
I don't want to hear it. Right?
It's always hard in the moment. That's what
Yeah.
a freestyle is.
It's like,
though,
ooh,
right?
yeah. But at the time, everyone was like, oh, like, I don't know. So yeah, so back then we formulated a crew. We had some. I think at that point we realized, okay, bro, if we want to focus on just the art of writing and making music, we should probably get a team together to focus on everything else, like the social media, the booking the shows, the handling of funds, and
talking to
promoters. Like I just want to rap. I want
Right.
to rap. I want to write. I want to record, and I want to perform. And that's what we tried to do. And it was going really, really good. I would say we had a good momentum. And once you're following your heart and you're really listening to yourself, and you're going on that path, everything else is just gonna start flowing, and your goals, everything's gonna gravitate towards you. And that's what started happening. Like Randall called us up, shows were opening up all over the place, and opportunities were there. And it was really good. Like based off of what we were doing, we were able to fly out to Vancouver and do a little mini tour, I guess you could call it, through local clubs and coffee shops in Vancouver. And we got to bring a member of our team out there who's never been out there, all off of the funds that we made through rapping and the sales of our CDs and shirts and merchandise.
Oh wow!
And then we also, because we were making the music, we made a theme song for this guy's clothing line out in California. They liked it so much, they're like, hey, we're going to fly out to Vegas for the Manny Pacquiao fight. Why don't you guys come down? We'll take care of everything, and we'll shoot a video. I'm like, I don't even know these guys, right?
Yeah.
I don't know these guys, but they liked our song, and I liked our song too. We're like, oh, well, let's do it. So based off of the funds that we made, we were able to take that money, book our airfare, but everything else was taken care of. So things were kind of like really, really rolling for us at that point, I would say, around that.
Yeah, I mean, not only the trips and, the money that we were making, but there was one show that we did up north. It was at a reserve.
Yeah.
And
that's another life milestone experience.
It's one of those places where the suicide rate in teenage and young people were really high. So we went out there and we did a show, and we actually did a workshop just to talk about
with the kids,
simple basics of rapping, making rhymes and things like that. But when we left, like the grandmother, who you could tell
she was like the Lola, everyone respected her. They're a real community.
Like tight knit.
They're like us, like
super close.
Yeah, we
Super
show our
close,
respect. Like that might be your Lola, but everybody respects her, and so we show her respect too. Like, and they welcomed us in, and they wished us well when we left. They did a smudging ceremony.
Yeah, that smudging ceremony. Yeah,
it was like, man, if you live in this province, doesn't matter what country your family may have come from, if you have a chance, man, go out and go visit some of the reserves in our province, because it was a like eye opener for me, life changer.
Yeah,
it was really good, man. Those kids out there and their parents, they were just, I felt like family. I felt like family out there. And some of those kids too, from the workshop that we did, I keep them on Facebook. Like, he started rapping too. It was pretty cool.
It's those things where you have somebody that you don't even know come up to you and show you respect just because you connected with them, or they connected with your music. Straight down to like the rawness of being with your friends, and you write like this rhyme and you're like, man, I need a second opinion. How does this sound? So I kick it to my brother or one of the homies, and you just see them light up and like, yo, that's dope. Yeah. Like that. Just those little things, right? Those are the things that, I don't know, for me anyways, keep me motivated, and know that what I'm doing is important in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a opportunity we had because of it was like a big snowball effect. You know, like, just to go back to what I was saying, when you follow your heart, everything starts coming into play. It's like, I don't want to just say it's like The Secret, but it's kind of like The Secret. You know, when you get your mind you get your mind focused and you're following what you're supposed to be doing because you're listening to your heart, like everything starts coming into play. So we were able to do that. That was probably one of our highest paying ventures that we had through making music.
Yeah.
And we got that opportunity through Kevin Chief.
Oh,
Gee.
nice.
Yeah. Through Kevin
Oh,
Chief.
his husband.
Yeah, yeah, because we did the Olympic torch relay show.
That was
we
crazy.
volunteered and
Whoa.
we came to represent out here for that.
Had to
Minus
follow up
40
Cirque du Soleil.
rapping.
How do you follow up Cirque du Soleil?
And minus 40 trying to
minus-
rap.
But it's 40.
Yeah.
But I was like,
it was
hey, if they're
freezing.
doing it, we
Like,
could do it.
You know, you're nervous and you're short of breath, but then imagine like that times 10 because it's so cold.
And we held it down.
Yeah,
Because
we
of
did
that,
it.
we were able to
Smashed
go
it.
to, I think I forget the name of the reserve, Ashinabi or something like that.
Yeah, I can look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, so just opportunities keep presenting itself. As long as you just...
Yeah, well, it seems like once you guys start things rolling, and then you see the results from that, then it pushes you to put more action into it, and it's just like it just goes into a circle. It's like you keep going and going. Can you guys talk about a little bit about how you guys started recording like your music as far as that goes? Because I think at that time, obviously computers are there and everything, but like still like recording in the studio was still like almost like just like a big dream. Like, oh, you know, we gotta get in the studio. Like, how do you get in the studio? You gotta pay money. Like how did you? Because that was like a barrier to get past. And how was that for you guys?
Like nowadays everyone could just pick up the material, the hardware, boom, go to town. Right there, if you really when we were doing it, like if you're really serious about what you're doing, man, you got to put the money in, book the studio time, and you gotta make sure your studio time is worth it and your rhymes are tight, and lay it down. Don't waste no time, right? How we got involved was probably before your time.
Manitoba music.
You guys were still kids. Yeah, there was this really great show that would happen here in Winnipeg. It was 2 to 3 day event. Acts from all over Canada would come, and it was put on by Mood Rough, right? Eli Odario, or Eli now known as DJ Dow Jones, and Odario Garfield. They were Mood Rough. They're some of the pioneers. I always bow my head down to them. Some of the pioneers in Winnipeg to start hip hop, and those guys used to do this event called Peg City Holler. And you know, if you were someone who had anything to say and wanted to take part, then you could get in on one of their nights, right? They had I think a Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday was like the main night when you just throw it down and the top acts would come. And they used to host that every year. So we did some live shows because we were rapping, but we never really started recording. But we heard about this grant called the Manitoba Film and Sound Grant. And we applied for it. We actually got it. And with that money, we took that money and went and saw one of the guys who recorded Mood Rough CD, and his name is Darcy Adam, and I think he's still doing it too.
Chantal Kreviazik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Burke's studio. Like, these are rock and roll dudes, right? Rock and roll has been here forever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going anywhere, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't. But I'm just saying, these guys, people have been laying music down forever, right? Just not hip hop as we were going back then.
Right.
And so we took that grant, and you know, I don't know how much it was, $1,100 or something like that.
It was 25.
Was it 2,500?
Yeah, it was
And we
25.
managed to squeeze out a 7-track demo.
Yeah.
And we burnt it on a CD, right?
In the studio for
in the studio,
10 hours.
10 hours, laying it down, getting the beats together, writing, you know, doing the doubles, whatever it takes to make a track. And then we were laying it down on DAT. I don't know if you guys know what DAT is. Yeah, it's DAT, digital audio tape. So there was no it wasn't just like
There was no hard drive.
It was a small
Floppy
tape
disk,
like
yeah.
this, cost like $60, right? And then when you press record, like, you better mean it. Yeah. And that's what we're doing. And then after
You
that,
better know what your order is.
yeah, exactly. And so and then after that, like, what did we do? We took that CD and we pushed it as much as we could.
Yeah.
The first, I'm gonna say this, man, because I'm proud of it. But like the first ode to hip hop, first ode to Winnipeg on a rap track or a hip hop bass track was we did it. It's called Peg City.
Yeah.
If you guys ever hear the track, original Peg City. When was that? 2000.
Yeah. It was back in the day,
Right now.
but it was.
Where do you get this?
How does the hook go? It goes Peg City,
Home of the Blue Bombers,
Clod Hoppers, No Coast Province.
Peg City.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys gotta find it.
Yeah, it's good.
But where?
Where is it? Do we got to dig for that one or?
Oh man,
Just go to your
I gotta
house.
dig
We'll
for it.
edit it. We'll edit it in.
I'll shoot you a link.
I'll be in your house. Just be like, where is it?
Yeah. I think that-
Where is this dat?
Dad, yeah. Where's Dad at?
Where's that
Yeah. So we took that little demo that we had. That's what we called it. We didn't even know what a mixtape was. It was just a demo CD.
It's demo, yeah.
Yeah, and we went to every radio station here, did interviews, rap wherever we could rap.
Yeah.
Sometimes in front of no people. Like we did a show out in
Regina.
and Saskatoon. There was like 3 people there.
Yeah, we still
2 of them
killed it,
were
though.
security guards. I was like, because like we looked at each other. I was like, fuck it, let's just do it. Full up with our whole dance routine too. But that's when sea walking was big.
We used to have a dance routine.
Yeah, so like this guy was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's really into sea walking, because of freaking the dog pound, man. They made it
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool, and
Yeah.
everyone was doing it. I was like, that looks cool, but I think I might sprain my ankle doing that. Yeah, he was really good on it.
Yeah, we did. We had Peg City, and then Brakada was probably the most popular track for the demo.
Oh
like,
yeah.
The way we perform it, like everybody would be hype in the crowd. But there was this one track that we did called Manitoba Hydro.
Yeah. We sampled
And Rex Never Ready.
Rex Never Ready.
What?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
sampled him.
I love
We
that.
actually met him and gave him the track too. I think when he was down
Manitoba Hydro, so that he could to
Yeah.
play on words
here. Yeah,
like Manitoba Hydro.
that's why. And then his joke was,
And we're
"Why is the blue sky?"
Well, yeah.
That was his joke, and then we sampled.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
But
we,
you can hear the beer bomb
Yeah.
rips in the background.
Yeah.
We recorded that in my basement,
But-
on the 808. On
Yeah.
on a MIDI
Yeah,
file.
yeah.
A MIDI file.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was producing it. But we did the show at the Avenue
Yeah.
when was it Royce? Royce was here.
Royce the 5'9"
Royce
came
the
down.
5'9"
You guys know
was
Royce
here,
the
so-
5'9"? Yeah.
So this is like back when you can still smoke in the club, and we did the Manitoba Hydro track, and then our skit was like, oh, we were all like faking
Oh,
like
yeah.
we were blazing blunts, right? But the stage was all smoky. But so one of our buddies, there's 4 of us, and one of our buddies was like, yo, I got this bag, and it was full of grass, right?
Yeah, I just
It's like literally
I just mowed the
mowed
yard
the
the day
lawn.
before.
This is the
So,
skit. This
yeah.
is the skit.
Actual grass.
Hold on,
Yeah.
so we're sitting
Yeah, okay.
before you get there. So
Yeah.
we're sitting in my basement, right? We still live at home, right?
Yeah.
Mom comes out. What are you guys doing? Like, because we got a big bag of like grass that we just cut from the
And
yard,
baggies,
and we're like
yeah.
putting them in baggies.
So when we're performing before we do the track, the guy goes, "Oh, look what I got." He pulls up this bag of like grass, and then I go, well, "Oh no!" Then you went like, "Oh
I'm like,
no, check out this one," and it was
That's
a
not
bigger
a bag of weed. This is a
And
bag
then-
of weed.
And then when it got to me, I pulled out a fucking garbage bag, right?
This is a bag of weed.
And then we started throwing out the baggies into
Yeah,
the crowd, and,
and then the
everybody was
track went.
hype,
Yeah,
man.
the track
And then
went.
we started
Track
rapping.
started.
And
So we
then,
had like baggies of
baggies
like,
are just
grass in
throwing
our
out, like, people thought
pocket.
they were getting free weed.
And we're wrapping
Yeah.
cigars
Yeah.
and just chucking it. And everyone's going crazy.
They're going crazy, right? Yeah.
And then freaking because we had like I had money in my pocket.
Yeah, I threw
I
like
was
$20.
so while I'm throwing out this fake weed, my money is falling out. I was like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're opening for Royce, right? Royce the 5'9", and he was like, "Yo, that shit was lit."
Yeah.
It was
I
hype,
heard some
right?
people
So-
got pissed off though, like, because it wasn't weed. And I was
Oh,
like,
I said-
obviously.
Come on, man.
Right?
Got it.
Kidding me?
Like,
Give me a
yeah.
break. Yeah, keep the baggie.
Yeah. And then we won. At
We were
Western Cold,
nominated.
We were nominated for best live performance in that time too.
Yeah, there's a magazine, I guess a school magazine that
Metro?
University.
Was it
No,
Metro?
University of Winnipeg.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
Uniter?
Called it used to be called I think Stylus.
Oh, yeah.
I think yeah.
Uniter's the
Yeah, I think that's And then they nominate local acts, and we got dissed hard too when we opened up for Naughty by Nature.
Yeah.
Man, they came down here. We're the opening act. We didn't even have a CD for our beats, right? That's not how it worked. We had to bring our 808 so we could play the beats.
Yeah, I had to play the beat on the spot.
And
our parents were there too.
Yeah, our parents came out to support, like coworkers, bosses, and then the kids and the groupies. They're all there, right? All mixed into one crowd. And the review written on us was like, you can't just jump and walk around stage with a few basketball jerseys and think that you're rappers. And I'm like, oh shit. Really? Because you could do that now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it was. But you just, depends how you let it affect you, right? So I was like, okay.
But how did you feel about the performance?
I thought it was good. I think we may have had a little too much to drink. You know, because sometimes you're like, I need to take the edge off, and next thing you know, you took more than the edge off.
We were ambitious, like
very ambitious.
The energy was there, and like we were driven to do it, but just
a lot to learn.
There was a lot to learn. Like I don't know if we were musically ready to handle a stage like that at that point.
Yeah, it was one of our first shows, really.
Yeah,
like stepping on stage, you're providing visual stimulation along with sound, right?
Yeah.
So you can't just stand there and really not do nothing, and you can't just stand there and rap really hard. Like you gotta cater to the audience and give them something to see while they're listening to you, really. And sometimes you got to give them more to see, because when you're in a crowd, not everyone's really listening. They want to see what you're about. Mm-hmm. So it was a learning process. Yeah. Right.
And I actually remember this moment when you guys were coaching me, and you specifically said, I think it was like to us, our team, it was like a hard loss. And like the referees were just like not calling stuff properly or whatever, and you're like, you told a little bit of like a parable, like the story of the donkey. You know this story?
So kick it up. I gotta hear
this. Yeah. I'm gonna probably butcher this, but it's about a donkey getting buried like with dirt, right? Like some farmer was like burying the donkey.
Okay.
For some reason, whatever the case may be, but that's not the point. So he's throwing dirt on a donkey, but the donkey shakes it off and then keeps stepping up as the dirt like keeps coming into the hole.
Yeah.
So he puts him in the hole, puts the dirt on him. He shakes off the dirt and like keeps stepping up. And then you made that analogy to like, every time like you struggle or every time you like lose or anytime you have some adversity that you just like you shake it off and then you just like take a step up. Like you learn from it and all that, and that kind of like, I know you may not remember that, but I remember that, and at that point, that's like one of those lessons to like really like look back on and learn and be like, that's like some knowledge I could take, and it applies to everything in life. It's not just basketball or
everything,
or so. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
I'm so glad that because I don't remember telling that, like how I treat things that intrigue me or that give me something to grow is like, okay, I got to take this and I got to share it because it doesn't belong to me, right? Like I didn't make it up. I learned it. I got to pass it on. That's the responsibility I think like we should all take in ourselves, is if something inspires you to grow, inspires you to just inspires you to grow. Like, I have no idea other words, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, don't keep it to yourself. You know, when the timing's right, pass it on to someone that could take something away from it and grow themselves. So I'm glad, like, that's 13 years ago.
Yeah.
13 years ago. Shit.
It's crazy.
I wonder how many times I told that story.
I don't know, but it was a really good one.
That's good. What the jeez.
I don't know if you guys remember this as well, but back when I was at Red River College, I organized an event.
Yeah,
and you guys performed at it.
Yeah. That young kid was there too, right?
Young kid was there.
Frankie?
Is that his name? Oh, I don't know. He introduced himself as young kid, so I'm like, young kid.
Yeah.
Ruckus actually performed at that one too.
Yeah, Ruckus. Yeah, I like Ruckus.
In the middle of his performance, he's like, I'm too overweight for this stuff. Like he does a really like hard verse or something, like a really fast verse, and then he's like, I gotta lose some weight. Like in the middle of his set.
That's not an excuse, man. Have you ever heard Big Pun?
Exactly.
That guy used to record his tracks lying down.
What?
Yeah, lying down. And if you listen, because his patterns are just so nuts. If you listen, you can hear him go.
Yeah.
Like, because that's how he breathes in between his lines to get ready for the next one.
Yeah.
That's funny because I was just listening to Shattered Dreams yesterday. That one track on his Capital Punishment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where it's just like nonstop. It's like I was showing Andrew. I was like, oh, that's.
Yeah, he's something else.
He's top 5.
Yeah, he's something else. Big Pun.
Yeah, but
Who's his top 5?
Oh
Top
no,
five.
you didn't ask that.
Number 1 is Andre 3000. Yeah. I'll just leave it there. Just number 1. Like, who's your number 1?
It depends. It depends. Like top 5, what? Like just the overall.
Rappers.
Top 5
Overall
rappers.
rappers.
Rappers. So we're using the word rappers. Top 5 rappers. Okay, when it comes to rap, just rap. Like we're not talking about poetry and like lyricism.
M is there.
Just rap. Like Eminem would have to be in there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot him out. Eminem, Tretch, Big Pun.
Yeah, Church is really good.
This is just rapping, right? It's hard to say.
I think it's everything though.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
all
You know what I mean? Like it's
encompassing,
everything. Yeah.
lyricism,
Like
rap.
how they
lyricism,
write
rap, and like the impact
Poetry,
on my
yeah.
life, poetry, depth, purpose. For me, purpose is really big. Like a lot of guys could rap. A lot of guys have nice rhyme patterns. A lot of guys are witty. But what are you trying to tell me? Like even better, like what are you trying to tell my kids? Like what are you trying to say? Which direction are you trying to lead them in this song? Or are you just sharing a story? Like, I'm Tupac, hands down. That's Tupac all the way, man.
Would the answer still be the same for you, or?
Yeah. No, I think with Tupac, a lot of people get flack about it because it's kind of like the bandwagon thing to do. But with Tupac, he gets negative reviews because he's not really lyrical, but because he uses the same rhymes all the time, like the E sounding rhyme, right? But he would use less and do more.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm saying.
that's like the epitome of like raw emotion when you're
That's
when you're
hip-hop.
making music. That's hip hop, right?
That's hip hop. I'm gonna take what I got.
Where like there's like what's the guy's name? He raps really fast. He's bald. He has a goatee. I don't know his name.
Raps really fast.
You know what I'm talking about? Huh?
Tech 9.
Yeah, Tech 9. Like Tech 9,
Tech
he's a
9.
beast. Don't get me
He's
wrong.
killed.
Like the way that he does it is like
Yeah,
that's
but
like
it's not for me.
science, but like I think it's situational though, right? Like for me, if I wanted to listen to club music all the time, then that's a different story. But for me, musically, it's about connection, right? It's about seeing where this person is coming from, hearing their story, and hopefully relating. And yeah, like Pac, on top of making really hype party music or like really hype music in general, the stuff that I really connected with was like the sad songs. You know what I mean? Like the ones that had a lot of pain in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why, and not a lot of people, not a lot of top MCs have that. They have too much pride, right? They're not going to admit that sometimes they cry or something like that. But
Yeah, I like a lot of rappers. Like I like a lot of MCs, a lot of rappers. Jay-Z's good. Nas is really good. I'm a big Nas fan. I'm a big Kendrick fan. I'm a big J. Cole fan. I'm starting to give Chance a chance.
Chance is dope.
I know, but like I just the whiny stuff. It just takes a while, but I'm giving him a chance, and it's not bad. What's that other guy there? The half black, half white guy. Logic, yeah, he's good. There's a lot of good. I don't know if I'd put those later guys in my top. I'd probably put Kendrick in my top 5 now, though. He's good.
Wow.
What do you guys think about the new local scene, I guess? Like with 3P, I know 3P's a huge part of that, but also CJ the Gray and some of the other people coming up, Malcolm J.
I gotta go check him out. I have to go check him out to know more.
Yeah.
I love checking out the local acts. If there's someone that I could really vibe to or like vibe with, and feel their music a little bit or their stage presence. I like to go and show some love. I've only really listened to Three Pete. Who else were we showing love to back then? There's what are those guys' names? The Lytics, they're still doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're killing it.
yeah, they're doing their thing. Who else? St. Chris. I really like St. Chris. He's such a nice guy. Yeah.
For me, the standard was like how you are live, like how you perform the music
live. Yeah, so
it's huge, right? Because anybody can be refined on a track that you did hundreds of
home.
takes on, but like when it comes down to like show me what you mean in your song.
That's what's that's I think that's the element that's kind of missing.
Yeah.
Is
like throwing bags of grass.
Yeah, like throwing bags of grass, like that. There's not really. I guess in the local scene, anyways, like we had to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Like you had to go to battles. You had to go and rap. You had to go and
make a name for yourself.
You had to make a name for yourself. Like you gotta. If you think you're somebody, then you should go to this battle and battle and see what happens. Like I wouldn't say I'm a battle MC, but it's definitely something I think an MC should go through.
Are there any rap battles going on in the city?
Yeah, Ruckus had one. Well, Ruckus has been at like a bunch of them recently, right? Andrew would probably like there's little spots here and there like are super underground. Like you don't hear about them unless you like hang around like certain people. But yeah, that still goes on.
Yeah,
like,
it still does.
You guys probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, the scene's cool. Like at least there's still a scene. I think just overall in general, the hip hop scene is kind of quiet.
It is kind of quiet.
Quiet. Like
I don't think it's as big as the culture as it was before.
But you do have like Drake and Tory Lanez just in the weekend, doing big things for us in Canada. But
what do you think would take what it would take for somebody from like Winnipeg or groups from Winnipeg to reach like at least reach that kind of level that Drake is at, or one of those higher I guess more commercially known popular artists like that?
What it would take for someone to get to that level?
Yeah.
In entertainment,
commercial success.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of sacrifice. I would say a lot of sacrifice and good connections, and you gotta have some sort of talent too. Just to be honest, right?
I don't even think you need talent really anymore. There's so many avenues to try to become popular. I think now with people are famous off of Vine, Snapchat, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
people that don't even have any talent, they're just kind of funny, like they're living off of it. So it's definitely who you know. It's your networking. But yeah.
I think at some point work ethic has to come into play as well. Like if you're totally like invested in it and like, taking the time to like, okay, let's refine the show. Okay, let's refine like how we record stuff. Let's, that kind of mindset maybe is lacking more, and that's probably the reason why you don't see as many big artists, because they don't have that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
That could be a contributing factor. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there working hard and sacrificing and, putting the time in. I think you just got to ask yourself, what is it that you want from it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? Like, do you want to be respected as an artist, or do you want the money and the fame? And take your steps from there.
Yeah, like the reasons why you do the whole thing, right? Like I guess you have to take that into play. Like, do I just want to be like cool on the local scene, or do I just want to be recognized for like some of my rhymes, or what level? Like, what's the purpose of being on stage or recording or whatever kind of artist you want to be, right?
Right, exactly.
When did you guys take a step back from the scene in a way? Because you said you guys are not really doing too much as far as rapping goes or making music. When did that happen? Because again, you guys seemed like you guys were on this train where like, oh, you guys are performing here, there, and all over the place. I would hear about you guys, and then somewhere down the line, it's just like you guys kind of took a step back, and something happened. So can you guys talk about that a little bit?
Well, like,
So how long? When that happened, we were trying to pursue commercial success and try to eat off of rapping for, was it like 15, 16 years?
yeah,
About there?
maybe try to
10
live
more.
off of it, right?
Yeah, but like seriously pursuing it, right? Like having a plan, okay, we need this date to have an album, whatever it may be. Try to get on a tour. Like maybe 12, 13 years. Before
Yeah.
we're seriously trying to pursue it.
I would say when it started just to get too stressful,
It's
and then I
tough.
started to learn a little bit more too, because that's a transitional stage for me in my life. Like when we started really going at it, like my daughter was just born. I was a new father, so that's why it was kind of weird. Is like when I'm trying to pursue my passion and dreams, it seems like I had less amount of time to do it. When now, if you guys, you're still young, all you really gotta think about is yourself. Now is the time to do it. Now is the time to strike. Now is the time to go. But I took my time, and I didn't do it until I had kids, and time was limited. But we still tried to go and get it. And I think for me, how it all just started to slow down, I would never say it ended, is it just started feeling more stressful, Like I was like, oh shit, like going to the studio wasn't, all right, let's go do this. It was more like, I gotta go to the studio.
Yeah, like a chore almost.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's not good, right? Those are signs already. Like, oh, I gotta go dance. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta paint. I gotta write. It was, can't give it a break. And that's what we decided to do. And then also had to redefine what it was we were trying to achieve. Like, what was I trying to achieve?
Right.
Am I trying to be like super successful and in terms of making lots of money off of this, or do I just want my artwork to be appreciated? And I didn't really know what I wanted yet either. And now, what I really want is just to enjoy it and to have fun with it. The same reason why I started was to just have fun, like a freestyle with my friends. They get, you get the pops. They're all laughing and we're joking around. Yeah, that's what I like. And listening to good music, learning from the person that's performing, and passing my knowledge on through raps. Like that's really where I get my my jollies from the music. Yeah.
For me, it was I was like fully dedicated. Like I really believe that something is gonna happen, and it was so much of my energy and my passion, and that's what you do anyways, right? For a dream that you're trying to chase, like it just needs those qualities from a person. But then after doing it for so long, and it does come to a point where you're paying for your own studio, your time, you start to lose out on other facets of your life. It's just how it is when you take so much of who you are and put it to one side of your life. That other side, it's missing something, right? And for me, the biggest killer of any person that's creative or starting to be artistic is when you start to do something for another reason outside of the fact of doing it. So it came down to even like, you take an instrumental from a popular song and you start trying to write to it, you're already influenced because of the original song and the topic and things like that. It's already a killer. So you have to be able to separate yourself from, am I writing this song because I want it to be popular, or am I just writing this song because I like to write this type of music, right? So once you start having those influences, right, then you start to lose touch with who you really are as an artist, right? And you start to not write or make good music or whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's why
and it came to the point where the technicalities of it all and this pure form of who I was, the technicalities start to overshadow it, right? And then I would go to the studio, and I still love writing music, but then I started to see like how far is this gonna go? Like I'm gonna write this music, lay it down, send it to the radio station or whatever. And it was always like that. I couldn't get out of that mentality, right? It was always like there's a step-by-step process, and I lost touch with, man, I just want to fucking write music. And then I knew that when we had our mixtape release, which I thought personally was like our best material that we made, because there was none of that. There was none of, we need to make a club track, we need to make a hype track, we need to make this and that. We literally just wrote music, refined it, and said like, this is a dope track, let's put it on. But our mixtape release was
which mixtape was that?
That was the One Percenter.
Oh man, we should have brought some for you guys.
Yeah, that was the last. That was the. I think I might have some in my trunk, but
okay.
That was our last actual hard copy release of our material. And to me, it's still my standard of a peak in who I was as an artist at the time.
Yeah.
And it was one of the least listened to out of all of our material.
Yeah. I mean,
so
you got to market it too.
That really hit
it's
me.
out there. People can listen to it.
That really hit me, and I still like. Don't get me wrong. I can. It's still there. Like, I started writing lines in my head. Oh, that's a dope punchline. I should probably write that down. But that energy that I put into trying to be something as a musician, I was like, you know what? Let me try to take some of that and put it into those other aspects of life, and it's been good.
Yeah, it's a real balancing act. Like,
Well, I feel like there's a parallel within like the dance world as well. And I think Mary Beth can talk about this a little bit too, because I find that we could get in the rut too, where like, we're just going to practice, or we have to do a session, we have to do a practice session, and then you're just like not into it. You're going through the motions, and you're like not connected to why you're actually doing it, or you're not even really enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I have to do this because this is what I'm known to do, or this is what I got to prepare for this battle or something. And once you step outside of that and be like, this is why I started, this is why, like, I did it because it was fun, it was enjoyable. And you dance because you like the music, you dance because it's just like you get that feeling, and then you express that feeling through your movement. And it's like pretty much the same thing with creating music and rapping, right? So I always thought about it that way. And then yesterday was one of the moments where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to what I do. This is my style of dance, and I'm gonna do that best to my ability and have fun as much as possible. And then that's my win.
Exactly.
Because it's at the end of the day, you're gonna come back with yourself, and you'd be like, what do I think about how I performed? Like, is like why did I enter this battle? Did I enter this battle just to like do everything I can to win, or did I do this battle because I like what I'm doing personally, and it's gonna be fulfilling to me? Right. So that's what I think about now when I dance, rather than just it's always like I always got to go for the win. That's how I base my value. It's on the win. No, like for me now, it's like how I dance is like how I feel and how the music like goes through me, and like how I express it. And then, am I happy with that? If I'm happy with that, then that's a win. So, what are your thoughts about that? Because you just won yesterday.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I agree. I think my freestyling abilities definitely changed after my mindset shifted over to, being, as I am a naturally competitive person, but to just switch it off and be like, I'm here to be in the moment and like share my art form and love and creativity in my community through my movement, and not worry about getting that win. At the end of the day, whether I'm there for the first round or to the last round, I walk away being proud of what I did. Right. So I think for me, that's also how my mind shifted. And I think that it's what all creative people should go into, whether it's competing in a battle or going into the commercial industry, right? It's being true to your heart and soul, right? Yeah. And for us, that's our family and that's our community, and giving back to and being present in that instead of something from the outside.
Yeah, and it totally opens you up to more possibilities, because in that mind state you're more I guess it's more conducive to creativity, and you just, because if you're happy or you're enjoying yourself, you're in the moment, then it feels like things just come out more natural, and it's really true to like who you are rather than like who you're trying to be or what you're trying to be,
or what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
See, when it comes to like a battle per se, right? It really depends what your approach is. Like if you're gonna go into a battle and you want to express yourself, then you could kind of like define your expression and cater your style for the W if you're going into a battle. But if you just want to perform, then you should always just let yourself be free. Like for me, like if I was gonna enter a rap battle, I couldn't just go in there and just try and be the rap what's from my heart. I'd have to prepare because of competitiveness. Like I couldn't just go into a battle and be like, I just want to express myself. Well, I do want to express myself, but if you're gonna battle, I'm there to compete. Right. So I guess I am there to see if I can compete and kind of judge myself with what else is out there. Like, oh, okay, this guy's pretty good. I got to step my game up. And that's how we sharpen each other, is through competition. Just like in sports. Like if I were to let the kids I coach just play, okay, that's good, you guys play. But now we got a game, you got to kind of prep and prepare for the game. So I would say in a battle, if you're going to battle, go battle. You know what I mean? But if you just want to perform, then go perform. It all depends on your approach and what you want from it.
Yeah, that approach seems very key. Now, you guys see that the landscape has changed for music, and you know, selling your music or getting your music out there and stuff. What do you guys think about the landscape now as far as, you know, performing or getting music out there or creating music? Like, what do you guys think about that? Because I'd like to hear your perspective on it through like what you guys have experienced so far and all that.
There's a lot of good things, but then there's some things that I feel are missing that are really needed to have popular artists become really, really good artists. I like the freedom of expression. Like there's no cookie cut music now. Like rappers just have to rap, or like R&B artists just have to sing. Like you can basically almost do any form of genre, right?
Yeah.
Which is good, because I find that for me it's like one of the struggles, and this is going to answer your question, but it might sound like it isn't. When we were popular, when our music was kind of in demand, the industry was drugs, bitches, expensive, lavish lifestyles. That's what was hot.
Yeah, because that was like the temperature of the whole hip hop movement. Like, you know, you had a bunch of people rapping about, and then finally people getting the money, and then now they're stunting and like flossing the money.
Right. So like even some of my close friends were like, "Why don't you just rap about some gangster shit?" I'm like, "I'm not a gangster, man. Why don't you rap about some spending money?" And I'm like, I don't have lots of money, but one of the tracks that I made was like how to blow $1 million. So ways that you couldn't hold on to, you just have to spend $1 million. One of the lines is like, pearl chain mesh on my basketball rim, it doesn't swish, it goes cha-ching. Yeah. So as far as the landscape now, I think it's good, but I think it's too convenient. I think that the same benefits that it gives is the same detriment that it gives. Because it's great that you're being successful, but like once you're set for life already, once you hit that successful single or whatever, wouldn't you just want to like make good music? You know,
to each his own. Right?
That's my opinion though, right? So, like, even with
with
Kanye too.
Yeah, Kanye. Why the fuck does Eminem still sound mad?
Like everybody, like Kanye. Like why wouldn't you just keep making college dropout and late registration? Shit, you know what I mean? Like he's just mad now.
Why are you? I don't know. You're holding on to that button for too long. You're making those weird sounds. It's I think the landscape is awesome. Freaking like my younger brother just he's like, yo, Kuya, man, you gotta get that iTunes, Apple Music, and you can have the album. And I'm like, seriously, you can have the album just like that? Yeah, just here. I'm allowed to have like 5 people on my account, and you can have it. And so he gave like you can have iTunes on a Samsung. That's how like old school I am, right? I was like, yeah, there's an app. The day Kendrick's album came out, boom, it was on my phone. I was like, this is dope, man. I didn't have to go like search a bunch of stupid download links and then have a bunch of pop-ups and then have to delete my cache. It was like right there. Like the landscape for music is like it's really accessible now, and anybody could make music now, and anyone like what you were saying is like anyone could just say stuff about anything. It's not like recording a DAT where you have to put your money down and go to a studio. You got to set up, you can make music, and you can put it out there. You want to make beats, you can put it out there. So there's so much of it. Mm-hmm. So to look, that's why when people say like, oh, hip hop's dead. I don't know if they're still saying that now, but you know, Nas was saying like, there was a little time when people were saying hip hop's dead. It's like, it's not dead. There's just so much of. It's like a Big Mac, and there's like 3 slices of bread when you just want the meat. You know, like there's too much bread. There's too much bread out there. There's not enough like, substance, but there is substance, and I think the landscape of music is really good.
It seems like you have to like find avenues into like, you know, it's like that digging aspect where you gotta dig, because there's so much stuff now. You have to dig for the stuff that you actually enjoy, that you think is good. And I'm sure there's a bunch of like ways to getting there as far as different websites or whatever the avenue is to be like, oh, okay, this person recommended this thing, or this blog was mentioning this album or whatever, and then you'd be like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. You know,
click,
like
click, boom, there it is.
Yeah. So
back then it was like, yo, you gotta listen to this artist. And like, well, where can I hear them? Oh, you can probably see them on Rhapsody. Well, when does Rhapsody come out? Comes out like twice a week, and it's only 30 minutes. You got to make sure you tune in to Much Music to watch that.
The land of the
like,
internet.
Shit. And there's only 5 videos, and and you got to hope they play that video. Or you can go down to the States and try and buy a single cassette. That's when people used to drop singles, and they put them on a cassette. And you'd have to go through all that just to hear some new music.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, check out this artist, send you the link, or just post it on whatever media, and you can hear it. So I think that's great. That's like music, when the transfer of ideas is being passed on faster, and communication is good.
Because there was that whole thing with Chance the Rapper not selling his music, right? And he just like, the way he gets paid is like from merchandise and like touring. Pretty much. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's cool.
I really like Chance. Like for at least the last 7 or 8 years, the majority of the music in any device I had was from the 90s. Like it was just all 90s hip hop or R&B or whatever. And I think he was probably, Coloring Book was like on rotation for me for a long time. And I heard it. Like I heard him. Like what his vision was in that piece of work, I could feel it, like just his freedom. Like he didn't have any boxes. There was no set way that he was supposed to make that album, and you could tell that he was just himself. His ideas just shine right through, and the production was amazing too, man. It was good.
What are you guys up to now? Like, what's going on with you guys in your life, and at what stage you guys are at?
Well, what am I doing right now? I'm learning how to take it easy and not try and rush. Like really appreciate every moment that I'm in. Like be present. Like that. It took so long for me to realize that. People always say I look forward to this, or oh, you remember the days when. But like I'm here right now. I'm with you guys. We're kicking it. That's where I'm at in my life. It's just appreciating present, the gift. I'm a coach, 2 kids, wife.
How old are your kids?
11 and 9. And see, like, if you go back in time when they were born, that's when I was trying to do this hip hop thing. That's when I was trying to be somebody, and it took a lot of time and sacrifice for me to be away from them. And like, I want to put that energy. Like, they're gonna be like, oh, dad's at the studio, or dad's at his second job, or dad's at a show, and you're like, they're not gonna wait for you. Like, they're not going to stay 2 and 4. Those days are just like, time keeps moving, right? So that's where I am in life, is just to appreciate the present and not slow things down, but it's sort of like when you're rhyming. It's probably like when you're dancing too. Like, you could be going through the motions, and it could be super fast, but your mind is like, if everything feels slow-mo, like you could feel every movement. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's where I'm at.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, it's more so the same. Just focusing on your own well-being, what makes you happy. Try to appreciate the simple things. But when I look at what I do for a living, I try to still keep like the hip hop MC alive. Like, I work at a call center, but I work in sales, and I find that, like, I'm just connecting with people, but I'm also rapping to them in a sense. Like, I'm not rhyming on the phone, I'll probably get fired, but like, the ability to survey a situation, and it's like I'm battle rapping, and it's just in the approach. Like, I'm not really doing that, but like, it's in the approach. And if I look at aspects of my life that way, then that artist inside me is still alive. I actually game a lot. I play Vince, Destiny on PS4.
Number 1 in the province.
Number 1 in Manitoba.
Top 10 in Canada?
Last time I checked, I think it was 6th in Canada.
6th in Canada.
Nice.
I was able to, I met some really cool people online. I met the writer for Marvel who writes Deadpool.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, Jerry Duggan. Yeah. And he mentioned this one thing. He's like, hey, there's this website, Extra Life, and what they are is a charity where if you stream through Twitch or whatever it may be on a certain day of the year, then people can donate, and then it goes towards your local children's hospital. I was like, man, I'm just playing video games. I don't know if I should do it. But all my buddies are like, yeah, man, I don't want to brag, but like, you're good enough where people will watch your stream and contribute. And I only set my goal to 500 because I didn't want to overextend. And I was streaming it was supposed to be a 24-hour stream. I was streaming for 17 straight hours.
Oh shit.
But I was able to hit that $500 mark, which honestly, it's not a lot of money, but the fact that people respected my gameplay enough to donate money to the local children's hospital, and then yeah. So there's those things that still keep that MC in me alive. Yeah.
It's hip hop, man.
That's hip hop. Yeah.
It's hip hop.
Sure. I want to thank you guys again for being on the CypherTalk podcast. You guys know how much I respect you guys, and it's all about the love of what we do and all that. And so I can't thank you guys enough for doing that. And I really want to listen to that mixtape now.
Oh, for sure. Thanks, bro. Hey, just before we go.
It's in your trunk, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think there might be.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Just before you guys go, I'm not sure how many listeners you have or your future listeners and all that, but if anyone's listening to this, I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on in the world out there, and always ask questions. Take a look around, take a look at the skies, and ask what the heck is going on. I don't know what's going on. What's up with those airplanes spitting out all that crap in the air? I don't know what it is. I don't know the whys. But that's how hip-hop started. Like, that's the real reason of rap music, is to raise awareness and question everything and take a look around. And you think you know everything, but really, you got to relearn a lot. So what's up with those airplanes, man? And it doesn't stop there. Thanks for having us, Angelo. It's always a pleasure, man. And remember, dust the dirt off the donkey, bro, and step up.
Gotta get that dirt off his shoulder.
Yeah.
All right, peace, guys.
Peace.